Hi, my name is Alex Moon. I'm a sales and order operations supervisor for Ansys in the UK, and I am also co-lead of the Ansys Pride Alliance employee resource group. And I wanted to take a quick 5 minutes today to talk to you about your CV or resume and some best practices that you might want to adopt when you're thinking about your own. So the first thing that I was wanting to talk about is your the layout of your CV or your resume. Um, and really, the best advice I can give is that there is no need to reinvent the wheel. And what I mean when I say that is that there are so many templates and designs out there. So if you were to Google CV or resume and hit Google Images, you would instantly get loads of inspiration there for how best to lay out your CV. And you could choose one of those and then recreate it in Microsoft Word, which is exactly actually what I did for my own CV. There are a lot of websites out there where you could choose a layout and the website would build it for you, normally for a fee. So I would say just take a look at those and use a basic, you just use the tools that you have. Use Microsoft Word or another word processing software to put together your CV and just recreate what you see um, on those on Google Images or on Google. Um, Another thing that I would say is that recruiters have limited time. So I know when I'm reviewing CVs, I don't always have time to really go through them with a fine tooth comb. So you want to try and grab the reviewer's attention as much as you can. One of the ways of doing that would be, or could be, to include a visual. Um, and actually, on my own CV, I have a visual key of my workplace profile assessment that I took with a company called Disc. So they gave at the end a great graphic of the results, and I actually have that on the top right hand side of my CV where there would otherwise just be some white space or dead space. So just filling up the space with what you can, still trying to keep it tidy. But if there is a bunch of white space, then you can certainly fill it with something colourful or something that is maybe representational of who you are as a person, a graduate. Anything that might sort of catch a recruiter's eye. Um, Also, in the spirit of catching or keeping recruiters' attention, one thing to do would be to keep a very short summary of yourself at the top of your CV. This helps the recruiter to understand very, very quickly who you are as a candidate. So, for example, at the top of my CV, um, it says I am a multi-skilled people manager with 5+ years of management experience, passionate about process improvement and efficiency, as well as empowering people to continuously develop and achieve their best. I enjoy bringing teams together to work collaboratively. So that's just three short sentences and should really give the recruiter an idea of who I am as a person, the level of experience that I have, and what I really enjoy doing at work. The final piece of advice I have is although you want to include your work experience and your education on your CV, three good things to have on there as extra categories are skills, strengths, and achievements. And I have those running down the right hand side, again, where there might otherwise be a little bit of white space. I have them in a different colored bar, and I have skills. Skills are things that you have learnt or things that you would otherwise not have without having been on a training course or had some experience of it at work, for example. So that could be a coding language. Um, and strengths are more soft skills. So things like maybe you enjoy leading a team, and that's something that you're really good at. It could be that you are very good at communicating with stakeholders across a business. Um, Things that you can take from one project to another with you. And achievements are very tangible things, normally numbers and figures. So, for example, I can say that last year my peers rated me 5 out of 5 on my multi-raters in my performance review. So that's something very tangible and very specific that you can be clear about when you're recapping your achievements. Okay, those are my top tips for creating your CV and or your resume.